Hey guys, okay, so obviously I'm not in my regular, background area, whatever you want to call it, but I switched rooms, so yeah, until I can actually, like, get up and, figure out where, like, the cheetah print backdrop is gonna go, then this is how I'm gonna be doing my videos, and I'm so sorry that I look terrible. And I am so sorry that I have missed like 3 weeks of videos, but I actually missed, I think, one of the videos, and then I didn't get a chance to make the other video, so yeah. But basically I'm just going to be telling you guys my labor and delivery story because obviously I had Charlie and I'm going to be introducing her to you guys. Yay! So yeah, keep watching. Okay, so hopefully she doesn't wake up while I do this, but yeah, so as you guys know, I think I said in my last video that she was breech, and so I was gonna have to have an external cephalic version or whatever, a version basically where they turn her, and that was November 5th. So, and then I said that if that was successful, then they would induce me and I would have her that day. So I go in November 5th. This is when it all started. I was supposed to be there at 1:30 and they were supposed to do the version at 2:30, and it took them forever. I was waiting there for like ever, and I don't even think I got into the room until like 3:30. So they actually like gave me a real room, like labor and delivery room, and they hooked me up to IV. Yeah, and then I had to get for the procedure I had to have an epidural. So they gave me the epidural, which a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, epidural doesn't hurt at all because I'm in like so much pain as it is, and like the pain from the epidural is like nothing compared to the pain that you're already in. Well, I got the epidural and I was in no pain at all because, like I said, I wasn't in labor. I was just getting it because of the procedure that I was supposed to be having. So to me it hurt, but again, I'm scared of shots and needles and stuff like that, so it probably hurt me more than it would hurt a normal person. After I got the epidural, then they like immediately started, and like I was also supposed to get like another shot that is supposed to make your heart race or something, but like relaxes your uterus. And they didn't give me that because my heart rate was like really high because I was really nervous, and they were like, okay, she definitely does not need that. So they didn't give me the shot. And then they started doing the procedure, and let me just say that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was so painful, and if you guys, any of you have ever had one, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't even know what it is, like go on, like search on YouTube ECV and you'll see what it is, and like they literally dig into your stomach and like grab her body, like you can see the shape of her body in their hands, and they literally like turn her, and it was so painful, and her head was like literally stuck in my ribs, and they kept trying to get her out, and oh, that was so painful. And like they actually had to stop when they were doing it because I was like getting super nauseous. When they did stop, they bumped up my epidural, so I got more medicine, and it finally like numbed a little bit higher, so I wasn't as bad. And then eventually at that point, like she was like sideways, so they had almost gotten her down, but I think the initial part of them trying to get her out of my ribs was like what made it hurt so bad. Okay, so at that point, like when I said that, like I literally, when I got nauseous, like I literally like thought I was gonna pass out. And so at that point, like my heart wasn't racing anymore, so, and my epidural was up so high, I literally felt nothing in my legs, and I hated it. I couldn't move my toes, and it was it was the most uncomfortable feeling ever. So they finally gave me the shot that's supposed to make my heart race or whatever, and honestly I felt nothing at all. Like, they gave it to me in my thigh, I think, or my hip or something like that, and it was like I didn't even feel it. And that was like the best shot I have ever had in my life, because like I said, I'm scared of needles. Anyways, so the shot that they gave me made me like shake. Like, I was sitting there shivering like uncontrollably. It was like I was having a seizure every 5 seconds. Okay, so luckily the version was successful, and they induced me. And the very, like, okay, first they checked my cervix, and I was, at that point going into the hospital that day, I was only a half a centimeter dilated. So I was not dilated at all, and if she was coming naturally, she would be there in there for probably still today. But yeah, so like I said, I was only half a centimeter dilated, and so they gave me this thing called a balloon or whatever. I don't know what the correct name of it is, but they kept calling it a balloon. And basically they like shot up this like gel stuff that inflates into your cervix, and it like inflates and opens it up, and like that was a part of them inducing me along with like Pitocin. So yeah, so I had a string connected to it, so like they would come in and pull on it every like 30 minutes, I think. And I hadn't like progressed at all, or I was slowly progressing to 3 to 4 centimeters, because that's what, once the balloon fell out, that means that you're at 3 to 4 centimeters. So I was like that. The balloon stayed in until the next day. So after the version, from 3:30 to like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. the next day, I was still the same, and the balloon finally fell out the next day at around like 11:12, I think. So after that, I wasn't feeling my contractions. They never took the epidural out, because I mean, like, that would be pointless to take it out. So I already had the epidural in, so technically I didn't really feel any contractions for the longest, up until I got to like 9 centimeters. Then I started feeling contractions, but they just had it turned down really, really low. And honestly, like, I was kind of annoyed, because I was just like, okay, I feel nothing. They're coming in, and they keep turning my Pitocin down all through the night. They kept coming in like, your contractions are too close together, and they're right on top of each other, and we need to turn your Pitocin down, and all this stuff. And I just felt like I wasn't dilating. I wasn't getting anywhere. The balloon wasn't coming out. I don't feel anything. This is so annoying. I'm tired of laying in this bed. So yeah. Then the next day, the nurse that I had initially came back, and she was like, okay, we're going to turn it back up, your Pitocin back up. She turned it up, and it was like the highest that it had been the whole entire time that I was there. And at that point, like I said, the balloon fell out, and then I still wasn't really feeling any contractions for a long time. Then around 1 o'clock, that's when my contractions started to pick up. And at that point, like I said, the balloon fell out. And they were really painful. I felt like at that point the epidural was worn off, and then that's when I was really, really having stronger contractions. So those were the ones that I felt. So around 2 or 3, they came in and they're like, oh, you're 9 centimeters dilated. And at that point, I was like in so much pain. I was like crying and everything. And they were like, well, we don't know if we want to bump up your epidural, because you're so close now and everything. And I'm just like, oh my God. So they were like, we're going to ask your doctor. So my doctor was like, that's fine, I guess, but it still didn't help. It, like, my epidural literally wore off on my right side. My left side, my leg was actually numb, and so like I said, it wore off on my right side. So I only had like no feeling on my left side, and my right side, like, I felt everything. And I kept trying to say that to them, and they just kind of looked at me like, okay, anyways, and then ignored me. Like, they did nothing about it. So I think around like 2:45, 3, I started pushing. And I pushed for 2 hours, almost 3, I think. 2.5, because she was born at 5:30. Pushing was probably like the worst part for me, just because like I pushed for 2.5 hours and it was exhausting, and I was literally laying there like falling asleep, and I was so annoyed because like the doctors are sitting there, the TV was on, and like football was on or something like that on TV, and they were like, they would only let me push when I was having a contraction, so like they'd wait, so I'd wait, like everyone would just stop, everything just stop for like the time that I wasn't having contraction. They're all turned around watching football, like, what are you doing? I'm sitting here with my legs open, like pushing a baby out, and you're sitting here turned around watching football. Really? And like they're just having full-on conversations about football, and I'm sitting here with like a cold washcloth on my head, like in so much pain, everything. And like I was just like, towards the end, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It was so exhausting. And like I said, the epidural was not working on my right side. So every time I had a contraction, oh, I got the worst pain ever on my right side. And like it just made me not want to do it at all anymore. It was horrible. But 2.5 hours later, she finally came out, and she was born at 5:30 exactly on the dot, and she weighed 6 pounds 12 ounces, and she was 20 inches long, and she was beautiful, and I cried so hard, and everything else was like good. Like, I mean, obviously I tore a little bit and on the inside, and I only had 2 stitches, which is so good. And obviously I didn't feel them stitching me up or anything like that. Like once she came out, it was like I got this boost of energy, like, oh my gosh, I'm not tired anymore. But yeah, you guys can see Charlie now. She's sleeping. All she does is sleep. That's all she does all day long. And she stays up all night long. But yeah, here she is, sleeping. She makes the cutest faces. Look at her. In her little outfit. Her little polka dot pants. And her little sweater looking thing. And her bow. That I didn't think was going to fit on her head, but it does because she has a big head. And she's so cute. And I call her Boo Boo Butt because all she does is poop. Charlie. Charlie. Yeah, she doesn't wake up for anything. She just eats. She wakes up when she's hungry, and then she goes right back to sleep. Yeah. But yeah, there's our labor and delivery story. Well, mine, but hers too, in a way, I guess. So, I'm gonna start doing, weekly updates. Obviously, I'm still gonna continue doing my weekly updates, but there won't be pregnancy videos anymore. There'll be, like, weekly updates on her and how she is, and, like, little pictures and stuff like that. So, make sure you guys stay tuned, and make sure you guys, like, comment on stuff that you guys want to see, or if you want to know more about anything or anything like that, just let me know. Comment anything you guys want to see, any suggestions, anything like that. Just let me know and I will do them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that I answered all of the questions that you do have. And make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe my channel. And see you guys next time. Bye.